Hey everybody, what's up? It's Spence. Um, it's been a while since I've done a video. Um, the last one was a few months ago, back in the spring. It's now almost the end of summer. Oh no! And so much has happened in my life since then, and so that's some of the reason why I haven't made a video because I've just been kind of going through this huge shift and transition in my life, which is been a beautiful, scary at times, but great unfolding that's been happening in my life. Um, I'm decided to talk about. There's so many different things I could talk about, but the main thing I want to talk about today is why I decided to make the. It was a hard decision, but I made the decision to stop attending church, and so I wanted to explain what that was about. And I also wanted to say several things. First off, I am still a Christian. I love Jesus with all my heart, I still try to do my best to keep his commandments and follow after him and live a life so that at the end of the day, I know that Christ is smiling down on me, that he approved of everything that I've said and done. And so I still believe in that. I still live a life after God, and I want to inspire other people to do the same thing. I want to do this video also because I felt like when I was going through the transition, I was so blessed to have three people that were kind of around me to kind of help me work through it. That I, when I started feeling like this, when I came to the decision, like maybe I need to, leave church. I wanted to make sure I wasn't leaving out of anger or frustration. I wanted to make sure it was in the right spirit. I wanted to make sure that it was what I felt was the right thing to do. And then all my life, we've always kind of been programmed. It goes back to even before we were born. Our grandparents did it. Our great-grandparents did it. So our parents did it. I think a lot of times people go to church out of habit. So I kind of almost had to review, why am I going to church? For what reasons am I going to church? And so after I did all of those things, I felt I'm going to say what I believe. I felt like God was, kind of pulling me out of it because as many of you know, about 10 years ago, I was a youth pastor and a pastor's assistant. I worked at a great church, came through the youth group. I really got my life together. Was raised up by some great men that really, showed me the ways of Christianity. I also saw some very horrible things that kind of hurt me, but didn't really realize it, and I've dealt with those things. Anyway, that church kind of busted up. So then I kind of went to another church, and I was there for a few years, but it really wasn't a fit for me, and I kind of knew it. So I would go, and then I wouldn't go, and then I'd go, and then I wouldn't go. And then I think most recently, of course, I've visited different churches and stuff. And then I think I went to another church, and they closed. I've been in like three churches that have closed. And then it's just too many to mention. I could go on for days. And so I've always had bad experiences with church. And my brother used to joke. He's like, everywhere you go, these horrible experiences follow you and these things are happening. Maybe it's you. And that really bothered me because I thought, well, maybe it is me. Why can't I just almost go to church like a normal person, sit there, have a great time, hallelujah, leave, and everything's fine. It just didn't work out that way for me, and that's okay. One of the biggest things I always felt like the common factor I looked at all the churches I went to, I always felt like I had to hold back, like I had to water down myself, like I had to, like I couldn't fly and soar like I wanted to. The hopes and dreams I had for a church, I never was really able to do. I just always, again, felt like I had to hold myself back or dumb myself down, like I couldn't shine as bright. Because I was afraid that people would think I was arrogant or cocky or, the main thing I was scared of what people would think of me. And so, the main thing is I went to the beach and, going to the beach, praying and meditating, I just felt like a wild animal let out of a cage, and I couldn't go back to it. I couldn't go back to pretending to be this, whatever type of person or just being this little, I really tried. I was putting on a fake smile and I was, trying to fit in And I just didn't. And so once I accepted that, there was really a relief and a happiness. And so I, I think, God is so much bigger than what we can see or perceive. And there's so many ways to worship him. I don't think we can just worship him on two fast songs or two slow songs or just by lifting my hands or clapping him. Even the Bible tells us to do those things. I think there's other ways we can worship him, most definitely with our lives, with the things we say and do and how we inspire people. But I've been, finding new ways to worship God. Like I've gone to the mountains and, looked out over at the beautiful scenery and just sat down and prayed and let God speak to me and speak to my heart. Of course, he speaks through his word. Just different ways of worshiping him. Just going out and sitting in nature. I'm really finding out I really, really, really enjoy going out in nature and just spending time with God. And so it has been beautiful. It really has. I also didn't, with the holding myself back, there's just a lot of stuff in church I think people do to me that I don't even know why they do it. I think some people do stuff out of tradition, like, cause some stuff just, I've seen so much foolishness. Some stuff just absolutely makes no sense. I don't understand, to me, I don't want to go to a church where everybody's wrapped up in titles, where everybody's wrapped up in looking alike and being the same, because I'm an individual person and God made me different and unique and special. And I want that, I want that to shine through. I don't want to be like everybody else and talk like everybody else and fit in the clique like everybody else. And so, when I look at the Bible, there's just some stuff that makes absolutely no sense to me why people do it. And then I want to go to a church. I was like, if I go to church, I want to go to a church where I want to go to church like Jesus had it, like he would just go out on the mountainside, step in the boat or wherever, and he would just speak to people. It wasn't no foolishness, it wasn't no games, it wasn't no, you got to be here for this service, you got to get permission to go there, you got to do this, you got to join this group, you got to go to this class, you got to go through that class, you got to sign these papers, you got to audition for this, you got to audition for that. It was no foolishness. It was just literally straight pure Jesus. And at this point, that's all I really want. That's all I want, I want Jesus. I do. And I want to do signs and wonders and miracles like he did because he said we would. I just think a lot of people in church, we kind of go and we go through this filter of we want the pastor to kind of tell us what God is saying and what he's doing and make us feel good, and then we go home. And I just believe I'm thankful for pastors, and I know they go through a lot, but I just believe Christ himself, Jesus, speaks to me. And that if I'm willing to believe him for some crazy things and awesome things in this life, I'll be able to do it. I'll be able to do signs and wonders because he said we would. He said we'd be able to do miracles. And that's the kind of relationship I want to have with Christ. That's the kind of what I want to do. And I felt like church was holding me back from doing that. I like being in bright, sunny places, and, a lot of churches are moving to kind of almost like this concert kind of feel with lights and smoke and, cutting out the lights and, having light shows and, let's just be really cool and super comfortable, and that's great, but that's not for me, and that's okay to say that. I think a lot of people are scared to admit, you might be at a church that you're not happy with, and you're scared to say that you're not happy. You're trying to fit in, and you just don't fit in, and that's okay. Some people need it, though. I've met some people that, they absolutely need to be at church, whenever the doors are open, and they thrive off of that, and they do well with that. Everybody's different. Nobody is the same, and once people really understand that, and we all stop trying to act like the same, I think, there's so much that we can do. And so, it's been somewhat difficult. It's weird because, all my life I've been kind of programmed that you get up on Sunday mornings, you go to church, you do the praise and worship, you do the pastor will preach, you do offering, you go hang out with your friends, get something to eat, sometimes go back or, And so at this point in my life, not doing that is different. On Sunday mornings, I go to the gym now. Also, I think some people treat Sunday like it's more holier than any other day. Every single day, first off, that you wake up is a gift from God. Second, any day that you have God in your life is a holy, magnificent day. And so I'm going to treat it every single way. As far as, remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. I do believe there's a day that we should rest. I think it's very important that we let our bodies rest, that we let our minds rest, that we just have a day where we don't do anything. So I try to spend one day where I just kind of lay in bed and do absolutely nothing. And I don't feel guilty for that because, hey, you need to rest. If you don't rest, you die, you get sick, and all these other horrible things have happened. And so, I'll probably do a part two with a little bit more detail of, more a little bit more details of why I left the church and stuff. Like I said, I've seen so much mess, so I just kind of got through with it. I still love God. God, again, is my everything. He is my source. He is my strength. He is everything. I'm looking at these beautiful clouds and this big blue sky, and I'm thinking that's God. I see God in everything and everywhere. And, every single day He speaks to me, and it's awesome. We talk every single day. God is my friend, and I hope He's your friend too. And He'll talk with you if you'll listen, and you talk to Him as well, and be honest. Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to do it part two because I'm already at 11 minutes. But be honest. When you start being honest about stuff, I always heard God can't heal it if you conceal it. So you got to be honest about some stuff. So when you're willing to be like, this is where I'm at, God, this is how I'm feeling, I think God can really work with some stuff when you're brutally honest. If you can't be honest with God, who can you be honest with, So I know this is kind of all scatterbrained. It doesn't make sense, but this is just, I wanted to help somebody. Somebody maybe will be searching YouTube and kind of wondering, what should I do? Why do I feel this way? So if it helps one person, great. If you love it, great. I'm not here to argue or fight with anybody. If you disagree with me, that is perfectly fine. I still love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. But I'm not here to fight with anybody. I'm not here to stir up any trouble. I've been accused of doing that, but whatever. Life is beautiful. Every day is a gift, and you need to treat it as such. There's always a beauty in every situation, even the horrible and the ugly and the things we don't understand. God is still always good, and He's faithful. And He has a plan for every single person's life. Plans to do us good, to prosper us, to have every day get better than the day before. If you just trust Him. That's all it comes down to. I'll see you guys later. And we'll talk on part two of why I left the church. But did not leave Jesus. That's very important. I did not leave Jesus, did not leave God. He hasn't left me. Bye, guys.